The chairman's report is attached for your record. It's also on the agenda. I'm going to briefly summarize some of the points. There's a list there of all the meetings that I've attended on your behalf as board chair since the last board meeting. I did attend the Clerks for Art student art exhibit opening with Sharon Bach and with Mrs. Brill. And one thing that she didn't mention is that the Forest Hill Culinary Academy provided the hors d'oeuvres that night for the attendees, so they did a great job. So congratulations to Forest Hill Culinary. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to speak with the county commissioners. As you all recall, I met with all 7 of them over the last several months to discuss the impact fee issue as well as finding land for us to build schools in the area where the development's going. I'm sure all of you know by now that I spoke yesterday, and not because I spoke yesterday, but the county commissioners made a decision finally yesterday after I think 3 or 4 years to go ahead and approve the increase in impact fees for the schools, and the impact fee for a single-family home went from approximately $1,866 to almost $7,000, so it was about a $5,000 increase. I'd urge all my fellow board members, if you have the chance, please send a note of thank you to the county commissioners for supporting the schools. The impact fees for some of the other things they did not approve, but they did approve the school impact fee increase. I also met earlier this week with the new supervisor of elections, Wendy Link. She and I had a nice discussion about the working relationship between the school district and the supervisor's office. As all of you know, they use about 200 of our schools for polling, about 140 of our schools, I believe, for polling locations. And one of the things that I discussed with her was any possibility of removing the polling locations from the schools, especially in the 2020 election when we have concerns, our ongoing concerns with security and having so many strangers coming onto our campus. If she would remove the polling places, we wouldn't have to deal with closing the schools, and that would would loosen up the calendar a little bit. Unfortunately, Mrs. Link indicated that there are no other places in a lot of the precincts to have the polling locations. So we agreed to disagree on whether or not she was going to continue using the schools. So by law, the supervisor has the authority to use our schools upon her request. I put my notes with respect to that meeting. I gave them to the new Chief of Staff, Mr. Tierney, and he's agreed that he'll be contacting her to coordinate the next election when they're using our schools. At this time, I'd also like to address House Bill 7123. An emergency good cause item has been added tonight under new business. It is BRD 3, call to action. The School District of Palm Beach County opposes provisions in House Bill 7123 that would invalidate county tax referendum language approved by over 72% of the voters to explicitly exclude non-charter district schools from receiving voter-approved funds. The ballot language is actually on your screens for those of you that want to see it. Why is House Bill 7123 an issue for Palm Beach County? The HB 7123 includes language that would require voter-approved referendum funding to be shared retroactively with charter schools beginning with the upcoming school year. It disregards the school district's November 2018 ballot initiative that indicated referendum funds would be for traditional district schools only. Voters agreed to raise their taxes in support of traditional public schools, not charter schools. Charter schools already receive a proportionate share of funding from the state, including dollars allocated from the Department of Safe Schools and the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act. What is at stake for students, teachers, and schools if HB 7123 passes as written? The district would be forced to cut more than $22 million from the 2019-2020 school year budget. Initiatives related to enhancing school safety and mental health services for students, improving teacher pay, and maintaining arts programming will be jeopardized. Potentially overrides the will of Palm Beach County voters who overwhelmingly approved a ballot measure with explicit language to use their tax dollars for non-charter district schools. The following that you see on the screen is the exact language approved by the voters, and you'll see there that we were very clear when we said it was for the operational needs of non-charter district schools. It also provides that the Independent Oversight Committee would oversee the expenditure of the funds that the taxpayers are giving us. That would not be possible if the money was turned over to charter schools, because neither this board nor the Oversight Committee has jurisdiction to oversee the expenditure of those funds that we would be required to turn over if this bill passes. What can the Palm Beach County community do to help? You should contact your legislators today and tell them. This bill was filed or it came to committee yesterday. It's imperative that you get to your state senators and state House representatives as soon as possible and ask them, do not override the will of the voters in Palm Beach County, especially counties like Palm Beach where the ballot language was explicitly stated that tax dollars were to be used for non-charter district schools. And ask them and tell them that legislation related to sharing voter-approved referendum funds with charter schools should not be retroactive. You all supported by 72% margin that the money that you agreed to raise your own taxes to give to the Palm Beach County School District was to be used for our public schools only, the traditional public schools, to increase teacher pay, to make sure we had safety concerns handled, and to bring mental health professionals into the schools. This bill would jeopardize this board's ability to carry forward the promises we made when you voted to give us the money to handle that. So there's a link on the board website. There's also a link there's a link on the district website. It's also attached to the agenda item tonight. So if you can find on that list, you can find who your state reps and your state House representatives are. Please take the time to contact them before they start voting on this bill to tell them that they should not override your vote, what you asked us to do with the money that you gave to us.